Good morning. Welcome to Senate Finance Day, whatever, and Thursday morning. So we're going to see if we can all maintain our civility from now until 11:59 on June 2nd. With that, would the secretary please call the roll?
Senator Buck, Senator Cannizzaro, Senator Neal, Senator Wynn, Senator Stone, Senator Tyler,
Here.
Senator Taylor,
Present.
Senator Titus, Chair Dondero Loop.
And I am here. And with that, would you please mark Senator Cannizzaro and Senator Neal present as they arrive? And everybody's doing meetings and presenting bills, so if Senator Scheibel shows up, please mark her present for whoever, and we're just shuffling here. So thank you very much for being patient as we work through these last few days and have meetings. We're going to go a little out of order today on the agenda. We're going to start with Assemblymember Ornlicker, and then we're going to go to the agency bills, and I hope we get through all those. We have other people in Ways and Means who have bills to present, but we're trying to work us through schedules. So thank you very much for your patience, as I said before. And Assemblymember, please go ahead with AB 282 when you are ready.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Assemblymember David Orentlicker, representing District 20 on the southeast side of Las Vegas. Thank you, Chair and members of the committee, for the opportunity to present Assembly Bill 282. And the bill is designed to ensure that patients receive refunds when they overpay their hospitals or doctors or other healthcare providers. And the need for this bill arises because we have health insurance and things are complex, and there are delays in payment, and sometimes doctors and hospitals are told when they calculate the patient's co-share that the co-payment for the share of the patient is higher than it should be. Patient overpays, hospital provider ultimately gets paid by the insurer and realizes, oh my gosh, I overbilled the patient. Unfortunately, as I learned about this from former Assembly member Ellen Spiegel, who preceded me in Assembly District 20, the provider doesn't always refund the overpayment. It took her months to recover over $1,000, and so this bill says you got to pay. The reason why I'm here is during the discussion with stakeholders, we added provisions to assess, to pay interest to the patient. To do that triggered a fiscal. It's not important. The stakeholder who suggested that supports taking it out. The fine will still be there, but just not the payment. So this is sections 2.6, section 2, subsection 6, and section 3, subsections 8 and 9, which provide for the payment of interest to the patient who was overcharged. Those will come out, and that's why we have a fiscal. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Yes, my own deceased mother got a $1,000 refund 3 years after she was deceased. So it continues to sit in unclaimed property. So it happens. Because we were so quick to pay bills, I guess. Anyway, with that, are there any questions, Senator Titus? No one? Okay, I do have one. The amendment that we had, would you just review that again real quick? I see that it's delete sections 2, 6, and 3, 8 through 9. Is that correct?
Yeah, so section 2, subsection 6 is the one that assesses or deducts from the fine interest payments if a medical facility is involved. So that's for the hospitals and other facilities. And then section 3, subsections 8 or 9, if it's a doctor or a nurse or another individual provider or their group that doesn't refund the payment. So subsections 8 and 9 of section 3 deal with the calculation and payment of interest.
Okay, thank you very much. That helps. All right. With that, if there are no questions, if you would like to step back, we will do those in support in here in Carson City of Assembly Bill 282. We will go to Las Vegas, and we'll go to the phone lines. AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair. If you would like to testify in support of AB 282, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue.
Hello, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Jessica Padron, and I'm testifying on behalf of AARP Nevada in support of Assembly Bill 282. As you know, we've long advocated for policies that protect patients, promote transparency in healthcare, and ensure financial fairness, especially for older adults and those living with chronic illnesses. So we believe 282 aligns with these priorities. And we are looking forward to medical providers identifying and correcting billing errors and notifying patients of discrepancy, and of course, issuing those refunds in a timely manner, not several years later, as the chair noted. So I'll keep it concise and just say we are very enthusiastic for this bill, and we hope we can count on your support and get it passed out. Thank you so much for allowing me to testify.
Thank you very much. Any additional callers, AVH?
If you have recently joined us and would like to testify in support of AB 282, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. There are no further callers wishing to provide support testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to opposition here in Carson City.
Good morning, Chair Dondera Loop and members of the committee. My name is Jacqueline Nguyen, Nguyen, with the Nevada State Medical Association. Actually, I'm here because there's a little confusion. This morning, in speaking with the Assembly member, there was an amendment that was handed to me last week that somehow either the Assembly member didn't get or it was never filed. So I just want to be clear that we actually support the idea of patients being able to get their refund in a timely manner. And I really want to thank the Assembly member for being very willing to work with us on things. The main issue that we had originally was that we needed to make clear that a billing entity definition was added because in many instances, especially for our employed doctors, they have no hand in the billing at all. So for them to be assessed the fine versus the actual employer or the billing entity was something that we needed to solve. Why we're here, though, was because of that interest, and that's what triggered the fiscal. The amendment would have taken care of that, and I think then he would have bypassed this committee, so we just wanted to acknowledge that. But the final thing that I needed to get on the record, though, was that one of the things that we had agreed upon was that nothing in this would be referred to the Board of Medical Examiners. Anytime something's filed with the BME, an investigation is opened, a physician has to then get representation and then report that investigation to all the credentialing entities. And so we just didn't want a physician to have to do that over a billing error. So we will continue to work with the Assembly member, but I just needed that on the record. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please work with the sponsor of the bill. Any additional opposition here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, on the phone lines, AVH, when you're ready.
If you would like to testify in opposition to AB 282, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide opposition testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to neutral here in Carson City.
Good morning. My name's Patrick Kelly with the Nevada Hospital Association. We would just want to thank the bill sponsor for working with us. We do share the concerns about the amendments, but they seem to be on track, so things are looking good. But thank you very much, Assemblyman.
Thank you very much. All right, with that, any other neutral here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, AVH, when you're ready.
If you would like to testify in the neutral position for AB 282, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide neutral testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. All right, with that, closing remarks, Assembly Member. All righty. Thank you very much. We'll close the hearing on AB 282, and we will jump down to AB 570. And thank you very much. Welcome, Director Zarenda. And please go ahead when you're ready. Good morning.
Good morning, Chair Dondero Loop and members of the Senate Finance Committee. I'm James Zarenda, DZ, URENDA, Director for the Nevada Department of Correction. Here I'm presenting on AB 570, Section 1, asking for appropriations from the State General Fund to the Department of Correction for the Prison Medical Care Budget Account for the replacement of medical and dental equipment for the following sums. Fiscal year 25-26 for $324,664. Fiscal year 26-27, $39,939. Section 2, asking for appropriations from the State General Fund to the Department of Correction for the Office of the Director's Budget Account for the replacement of vehicles for fiscal year 25-26, $5,154,386. Fiscal year 26-27, $43,446. Section 3, asking for appropriations from the State General Fund to the Department of Corrections for the Office of the Director Budget Account for the replacement of equipment and related to Information Technologies Network and Systems for the following sums. Fiscal year 25-26, $161,526. Fiscal year 26-27 for $133,153. Section 5, asking appropriations from the State General Fund to the Department of Corrections for the Office of the Director Budget Account for the sum of $225,750 for the replacement of refrigerator trucks, garbage trucks, and dump truck. Section 6, asking for appropriations from the State General Fund to the Department of Corrections for the Office of the Director Budget Account for the sum of $123,308 for the replacement of office chairs and furniture for the executive office, for an executive office. Section 7, asking for a state appropriation from the State General Fund to the Department of Corrections for the Office of the Director Budget Account for the sum of $2,861,657 for the replacement of passenger buses and purchase of vans, transport vans. Section 8, we're asking for appropriation from the State General Fund to the Department of Correction for the Office of the Director Budget Account for the sum of $103,347 for the replacement of computer hardware and associated software. Section 9, asking for appropriation from the State General Fund to the Department of Correction for the Office of the Director Budget for the sum of $1,313,733 for equipment and training for correctional officers. Section 10, asking for appropriations from the State General Fund to the Department of Corrections for the Correctional Programs Budget Account for the sum of $71,604 for the replacement of office chairs. Section 12, asking for appropriations from the State General Fund to the Department of Corrections for the Office of the Director Budget Account for the sum of $341,630 for the replacement of hardware, software, and equipment for information technology servers. And that's all I have to present.
Thank you very much. Any questions for the director? I have one quick one, Director. How often do you have to replace like vehicles or dump trucks or whatever they may be that you are replacing?
Thank you for that question. Just James Renda for the record. So I don't know how other agencies are, but our fleet is extremely dilapidated. Majority of our vehicles are over 200,000. We have Prison Industries, which helps us to rebuild the vehicles, so that's probably why we keep them longer, and they rebuild the engines and do a lot of work on them to keep them going longer. Our buses, I think our least mileage on our transport buses that bring high security into the communities has 450,000 miles on it. So we have rarely replaced our vehicles, and it's about time before something disastrous happens.
Okay, I was kind of thinking in my mind, is it years or is it, because you have to come to us, is it years or is it miles, right? And so it's probably a little of both on some sets of the
Yes, it is.
pieces. All righty, thank you very much. And, all right, if I see no questions, if you want to step back just for a minute, we'll go to those in support of AB 570 here in Carson City, Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you. If you would like to testify in support of AB 570, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide support testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to opposition here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, please.
If you would like to testify in opposition to AB 570, please press star 9 or raise hand on the Zoom app to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide opposition testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to neutral here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, please, ABH, when you're ready.
If you would like to testify in the neutral position for AB 570, please press star 9 or raise hand on the Zoom app to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide neutral testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. Any closing remarks? All right, then you're on the docket again for AB 572. Welcome to the table.
Thank you, Chair Dondero Loop and members of the Senate Finance Committee. My name is James Zarenda, D-Z-U-R-E-N-D-A, and I'm the Director for the Nevada Department of Corrections, here to present AB 572. Section 1, asking for appropriations from the State General Fund to the Department of Corrections for the Pioche Conservation Camp budget account for the purpose of small equipment for the following sums: fiscal year 25-26 for $317, and again for fiscal year 26-27 for $317. And Section 2, asking for appropriation from the State General Fund to the Department of Correction for the Gene Conservation Camp budget account for the purchases of small equipment for the following sums: fiscal year 25-26 for $1,590, and again for fiscal year 26-27 for $1,590. Section 3, asking for appropriations from the State General Fund to the Department of Corrections for the Carlin Conservation Camp budget account for the purchases of small equipment for the following sums: fiscal year 25-26, $3,786, again in fiscal year 26-27 for $3,786. Section 4, asking for appropriations from the State General Fund to the Department of Corrections for the Stewart Conservation Camp budget account for the sum of $59,240 for the replacement of a dishwasher. Section 5, asking for appropriations from the State General Fund to the Department of Corrections for the Pioche Conservation Camp budget account for the sum of $38,503 for the replacement of laundry equipment. Section 6, asking for appropriations to the State General Fund to the Department of Corrections for the Three Lakes Valley Conservation Camp budget account for the sum of $31,384 for the replacement of propane water heaters. Section 7, asking for appropriations from the State General Fund to the Department of Corrections for the Gene Conservation Camp budget account for the sum of $160,610 for the replacement of chairs, office chairs, and laundry equipment. Section 8, asking for appropriations from the State General Fund to the Department of Corrections for the Carlin Conservation Camp budget account for the sum of $31,616 for the replacement of boilers. And that's all I have to present.
Thank you very much. All right, I have a couple of questions. What constitutes small, when you say small equipment, what is small equipment?
So the small equipment on the conservation camp was a 3-year average of what was needed for, that we need for equipment that's related to maintenance.
So I'm just going to guess right now. You mean like screwdrivers, hammers, things to use for maintenance?
So
Wrenches,
those
whatever.
usually don't break down, but it's
Right.
usually motors.
Oh,
Usually,
okay.
usually small equipment as in drills,
Oh,
fires and stuff
I
like
was
that.
just trying to figure it out because of the $317. I was like, what is it that we're purchasing for that amount, which shows that we're used to big numbers. So, the other thing is I think I need a job as a dishwasher. If we're buying $59,000 dishwashers, I'm like, can I sign up as your dishwasher?
So, James Arenda, for the record, some of our dishwashers are in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. They're dishwashers that are allowed to wash over 3 shifts of 5,000 offenders at once. So you're talking 15,000 dishes and things that go through the washing machine every day.
So they aren't your classic
No, they're not.
Whirlpool. Okay, got it. Just trying to bring some levity, Director. All right, thank you very much. Any additional questions from the committee? All righty, thank you very much. If you'll step back, we'll go to those in support in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you. If you would like to testify in support of AB 572, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide support testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to opposition here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, AVH, when you're ready.
If you would like to testify in opposition to AB 572, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide opposition testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to neutral here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, AVH, when you're ready.
If you would like to testify in the neutral position for AB 572, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide neutral testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. All right, any closing, okey-doke, waved off. We'll close the hearing on AB 572, and we will go to Assembly Bill 574. And welcome back to the table.
Thank you, Chair Dundera Loop and members of the Senate Finance Committee. My name is James Arenda, DZURENDA, Director for the Nevada Department of Corrections, here to present Assembly Bill 574. Section 1, asking for appropriations from the State General Fund to the Department of Corrections, the sum of $57,742 for the High Desert State Prison Budget Account for the purchase of security equipment and safety equipment. Section 2, asking for appropriations from the State General Fund to the Department of Corrections for the sum of $80,981 for the High Desert State Prison Budget Account for the replacement of automotive equipment. Section 3 is asking for appropriations for the State General Fund to the Department of Corrections for the sum of $36,345 for the High Desert State Prison Budget Account for the replacement of culinary equipment. Section 4, asking for appropriations for the State General Fund to the Department of Corrections for the High Desert State Prison Budget Account for the replacement of security equipment for the following sums. Fiscal year 25-26 for $62,708. Fiscal year 26-27, $23,289. Section 5, asking for appropriations for the State General Fund to the Department of Corrections High Desert State Budget Account for the replacement of warehouse and culinary equipment for the following sums. Fiscal year 25-26 for $495,706. Fiscal year 26-27 for $1,965. Section 6, asking for appropriations from the State General Fund to the Department of Corrections for the High Desert State Prison Budget Account for the replacement of medical equipment for the following sums. Fiscal year 25-26, $20,410, and again in 26-27 for $20,410. Section 7, asking for appropriations from the State General Fund to the Department of Corrections for the High Desert State Prison Budget Account for the replacement of laundry equipment for the following sums. Fiscal year 25-26, $1,083,520. $1,083,520. Fiscal year 26-27 for $19,992. Section 8, ask for appropriations for the State General Fund to the Department of Corrections for the High Desert State Prison budget account for the replacement of office furniture and visiting room chairs for the following sums. Fiscal year 25-26, $71,840. Fiscal year 26-27 for $5,200. Section 9, asking for appropriations from the State General Fund to the Department of Corrections High Desert State Prison budget account for smaller equipment purchases for the following sums. Fiscal year 25-26, $13,870, and fiscal year 26-27 for the same $13,870, and that's all I have to present.
Thank you very much. Question on the office furniture. Several of your bills have office furniture in them. Once again, how old is the office furniture? Is that something that you can flex on at all, or is that something that is needed?
James Renner for the record. So I don't have ages, but we do as we go, and we do as much repairs as possible. We have our prison industries, again, that repairs them until the point where it becomes dangerous to use and have in an office. And that's all we go by. We don't go by age. And then when prison industry says it's too much or we can't repair any further, then we ask for new furniture.
Okay, thank you. Any additional questions on Assembly Bill 574? Senator Stone.
Thank you, sir, for your presentation. On Section 5, $495,000 for warehouse and culinary equipment. Can you just elaborate on what that $495,000 is for?
So James Renner for the record, those are heaters for warmer heaters for trays, and they're also, we have inside there also, we're asking for steamers, for rice steamers and cookers, boilers that are made for, that we use for every day for the kitchens that are no longer working.
Thank you very much. Any additional questions? All right, step back. And we'll go to those in support here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, AVH, when you're ready.
If you would like to testify in support of AB 574, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide support testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. Opposition here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, please, AVH, when you're ready.
If you would like to testify in opposition to AB 574, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide opposition testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to neutral here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, please, AVH, when you're ready.
If you would like to testify in the neutral position for AB 574, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide neutral testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. All right, any closing remarks? All right, we will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 574. Thank you, Director, and I can't remember your last name. DeSocio. Ms. DeSocio, thank you very much for your time this morning. And with that, DPS, you are up. We will go to Assembly Bill 576. Please go ahead when you're ready.
Good morning, Chair, and thank you, Senator Dara Loop and members of the Committee on Finance. My name is James Simpson, SIMPSON, and I'm a major with the Nevada Department of Public Safety, Highway Patrol Division, assigned to headquarters. Joining me today is ASO 2, Denny Gortari, Gortari, and ASO 3, Jennifer Ramos, Ramos. And in sunny Las Vegas, we have Captain Nathan Peterson. Wait for the camera, sir. There we go. Excellent. We're here to present Assembly Bill 576, which makes one-shot appropriations to the Nevada Highway Patrol Division of the Department of Public Safety for the purchase and replacement of motorcycles, vehicles, and equipment. The one-shot appropriation totals $18,865,045 and funds the following items. Section 1 is the replacement of fleet motorcycles and associated special equipment. Section 2 is the replacement of portable radios and associated equipment. Section 3 is the replacement of vehicle hoists, a forklift, and trailers. Section 4 is replacement of drones and scales for commercial motor vehicles. Section 5 is the purchase of first aid kits. Section 6 is the purchase of electronic flares. 7 is the purchase of equipment and associated ammunition. Section 8 is the purchase of storage containers. Section 9 states that we can't commit the money after June 30th, 2027, and not spend it after September 17th of 2027. We plan on spending this July 2nd, so that won't be an issue. Section 10 is replacement of fleet vehicles and associated special equipment. Section 11 is replacement of mobile data computers and associated equipment. And Section 12 is replacement of portable event recording devices, body-worn cameras. And Sections 10, 11, and 12 are on each year, so those have to be dealt with before September of 26 and then September of 27. And thank you, and we are available to answer any questions the committee may have.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, committee? I'll ask one. Same thing I asked Director Zarenda. How often do you purchase vehicles, or do you purchase them based on mileage? How does that work?
For the record, Madam Chair, Denny Gortari, Gortari, Administrative Service Officer. Thank you for the question. In response to the question, we follow SAM 1316, which, basically we're replacing vehicles, which stipulates that sedans will be replaced at 100,000, pickups and SUVs at 125,000 or 10 years. So we follow that guidance. And also to add to that, in terms of law enforcement too, our vehicles have a lot of engine wear on them as well. You're going to get another 60 or 70,000 miles of engine wear in addition to that. And at the same time, once we're done with the vehicles, we turn them into the excess property unit, and they're sold off, and those funds get basically returned back to the highway fund. So, we get residuals that are pretty good if they're in decent shape. I've seen residuals as high as $10,000 that get returned back to the highway fund. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'll also ask about the first aid kits. Obviously, that is something you need, dealing with accidents and things that you may do. How many does that purchase, and do you don't need to give me an exact number, but what kind of usage? In other words, if you buy 100, do you use all 100, or 75, and maybe there's 25 sitting there somewhere?
Thank you for the question. Major James Simpson for the record. This enhancement does fund the purchase of, they're called individual first aid kits, or IFAKs, for the issuance to all Nevada Highway Patrol sworn staff. So it contains a number of items, whether it be clotting kits if somebody were to be shot, basic first aid equipment. The issue is the lifespan of this equipment. You can't just leave it in your car for 15 years. The heat, the cold, it does wear on it, and we do have to purchase every few years.
Got it. Thank you. All right. Senator Titus.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Since you were asking, these first aid kits, do they all contain Narcan?
Major James Simpson for the record. They do not contain Narcan, though we do receive Narcan through the university, I think, through a grant. We've replaced ours every time the replacement cycle happens, and they've been extremely beneficial to us, and we have used them, and they have made a difference, so we appreciate that.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any additional questions? All right. With that, if you'd like to step back, we will call those in support of Assembly Bill 576 here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, please. AVH, when you're ready.
If you would like to testify in support of AB 576, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom client to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide support testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to opposition here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, please.
If you would like to testify in opposition to AB 576, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide opposition testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. And we'll go to neutral here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, please.
If you would like to testify in the neutral position for AB 576, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide neutral testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. Any closing comments, Major? Okay. Thank you to you and your team down in Las Vegas for all they do to keep us safe, and we appreciate your time today. And with that, I will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 576, and I'll open the hearing on Assembly Bill 213. And we have some usual suspects here with us to present. Welcome to Senate Finance, and please go ahead when you're ready.
For the record, good morning, Ms. Dondero-Loop and committee. My name is Alfonso Lopez, L-O-P-E-Z. I represent the sheet metal workers or aerial transportation workers. We're here just to address the fiscal note that was put on. It was put on as, in the end, as undetermined, and we're here to answer any questions that you may have. And we also have been working with all the stakeholders from day one. The Labor Commission has been very cooperative, as the opposition as well, with all the different stakeholders meetings throughout this process. And like I say, we're here to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
All righty, thank you very much. Any questions from the committee on this particular bill, AB 213? All right, I don't see any. You're off the hook. All right, we will go straight to support here in Carson City. Please come forward. Thank you.
Good morning, Honorable Chair and Committee. For the record, my name is Wendy Colborn, Chief of Staff for the Building and Construction Trades Council of Northern Nevada, and we are in strong support of this bill. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll go to support in Las Vegas. And on the phone lines, please. AVH, when you're ready.
If you would like to testify in support of AB 213, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue.
Good morning, Chair Dondero-Loop and members of the committee. For the record, Carlos Hernandez, representing the Nevada State AFL-CIO. We are in full support of AB 213. Thank you.
There are no further callers to testify in support at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to opposition here in Carson City.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Alexis Motorex with the Nevada Chapter Associated General Contractors. Here today opposed to AB 213. This expansion of prevailing wage will result in one of two things that will impact the fiscal well-being of this state. Either public works projects will become more expensive, resulting in less value to the taxpayer and fewer jobs created because there will be fewer projects, or Nevadans will lose their jobs. In order for Nevada contractors to remain competitive, they will outsource the custom fabricated items on projects and lay off those currently performing that work in their shops. Additionally, this will limit workforce development. The entry-level position for people beginning their careers in HVAC and plumbing is as a helper. Helpers are specifically prohibited from working on prevailing wage jobs. A contractor's use of helpers provides the training necessary as pre-apprenticeship and familiarizes them with the requirements of that craft. There are already tremendous workforce challenges for a variety of reasons, and this bill would only compound the problem. There is far too much risk with the passage of this bill that is trying to fix a problem that simply does not exist, and because of that, we respectfully ask that you not process a bill that just puts Nevada jobs at peril.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. For the record, Mac Bybee, representing the Associated Builders and Contractors. Our concern is echo the same as my colleague from AGC. However, the NAC 338 specifically excludes fabrication for a reason, and it's because the compliance burden and the regulatory burden is incredibly high. And this is how prevailing wage in the NAC has existed for decades. And that is our greatest concern, is the compliance burden on the employers, but certainly there will be a regulatory burden on the state. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Good morning, Chair, members of the committee. Warren Hardy today representing the Nevada Urban Consortium. We are very concerned about the fiscal impact to this on local governments as well as the state. But more importantly than that, this is an issue we've been dealing with for a number of years to try to figure out. We just don't know how we can enforce this. The amount of personnel that would be required to go on every job site to determine that the fabricated item was created in the state of Nevada is just a regulatory burden that we don't even know where to start to do. So for that reason, we have a lot of concerns about this bill. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the committee. For the record, Miranda Hoover with 3C House, representing the National Electrical Contractors Association, Northern Nevada Division. We echo all of our colleagues here in the opposition standpoint, specifically for the fiscal reasons that were already stated. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, we will go to Las Vegas. Please go ahead.
Good morning, Chair and members of the committee. For the record, Ann Barnett, CEO for the Nevada Contractors Association, representing the construction industry in Southern Nevada. NCA opposes AB 213. While we do support prevailing wage on public works, this bill would require it at permanent off-site facilities that serve both public and private projects. We believe this expansion creates logistical and economic challenges in determining what qualifies as prevailing wage work, especially across different jurisdictions. This would lead to increased costs for both state and local governments. Thank you.
Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Chair Dundara-Loop. Members of the committee, my name is Anahit Bakhshetsam. For the record, that is ANA-HIT-BAGHSHETSYN, and I'm a policy analyst at Nevada Policy. Today, we come in strong opposition of AB 213. This bill does everything that everyone testifying before me mentioned. The compliance burdens and the regulatory burdens are very heavy, and it will be hard to address. But above all, the fiscal impact of this bill goes far beyond the fiscal note that is presented. The increased cost would be later on passed to the taxpayers and the business owners, and this inflation of cost is just something that would in the long run harm business and harm economy, and for those reasons we urge your opposition on this measure. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Any additional opposition down in Las Vegas? Seeing none, we'll go to the phone lines. AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you. If you would like to testify in opposition to AB 213, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide opposition testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to neutral here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, please, AVH, when you're ready.
If you would like to testify in the neutral position for AB 213, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide neutral testimony at this time.
All right. Any closing remarks? All righty. Then we will close this hearing on Assembly Bill 213, and we will go to Assembly Bill 376 and welcome Assembly Member O'Neill. Good morning. We're just happy you have them. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Dondero-Loop, and esteemed members of the committee for allowing us to be here today and present this bill to you. For the record, I am P.K. O'Neill, representing Assembly District 40. As I said, I'm here to present to you Assembly Bill 376, which revises provisions relating to insurance. With me today is Adam Plain, Insurance Regulations Liaison with the Division of Insurance. for a little background about this bill, and I'll try to make this quick for us all. AB 376 addresses an urgent and important matter facing many homeowners, not only in my district, but throughout the state, and that is the insurance of homeowners insurance. As you are aware, many housing developments within Nevada sit squarely within the wildland-urban interface, which is just a fancy way of saying they are in the transitional space between the forest and developed land. Due to many factors, not the least of which is risk for wildland fires, many Nevadans are facing the cancellation of their homeowners insurance policies. Others are trying to purchase homes and cannot close the deal as they cannot find an insurance company willing to underwrite their homeowners policies. Still others are facing skyrocketing premiums and cannot afford their coverage. This issue is not unique to Nevada and is indeed a nationwide problem. In working with representatives from the Division of Insurance and the insurance industry, we are offering an amendment that has now been put into AB 376, so excuse me, to address the homeowners insurance availability. I will also say, as of this morning, we are working on another amendment that will be addressing the concerns that the homeowners associations have, and including adding Senator Buck as a co-sponsor to the bill. Hopefully, we may even have that conceptual amendment before we finish this presentation. So, Chair, now I'd like to offer to you, would you like a very short delivery or would you like a detailed delivery of what this
Short
bill?
is always very good, sir.
That's what I thought. But either way, I'm going to turn it over to Adam Plain now to go through in a very short manner what this bill does.
Thank you very much, Mr. Plain. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. For the record, Adam Plain, P-L-A-I-N, with the Nevada Division of Insurance. Assembly Bill 376 has a few different provisions in it. The first of which, contained in sections 1 through 20 of the bill, would create an insurance regulatory sandbox environment, allowing insurance companies to come up with creative and innovative insurance products and apply to the Commissioner of Insurance for approval of those products. The language is taken primarily from the National Council on Insurance Legislatures, I believe, NCOIL, as model language. We did tighten it up a little bit, increased some consumer protection provisions within the sandbox proposal, such that an insurer could request an exemption from certain insurance regulations, but they in no circumstances could request to be exempted from our general regulatory authority, the Consumer Protections and the Unfair Trade Practices Act, similar things like that. This would hopefully allow insurers to write new kinds of products that would allow them to get coverage to consumers who are not currently able to get coverage for wildfire reasons. Section 20.3 of the bill would institute a program of flex rating, which would give the commissioner authority to establish a flex rating threshold whereby homeowners, property insurers could have very modest rate increases and bypass the traditional rate review process in an effort to speed rate support to the industry in modest amounts. Anything above the approved rate review threshold would still go through our full prior approval rate review process. Sections 25.1 and 25.2, or excuse me, Section 25.1 of the bill would allow insurers to carve out and then issue separate wildfire policies or riders, similar to what homeowners currently do with, for example, earthquake insurance or flood insurance. Hopefully this would allow consumers who couldn't otherwise get insurance to at least get coverage for all of those other non-wildfire perils and still be able to shop around for something to supplement that. Sections 25.2 deals with reciprocal insurers. Reciprocals are kind of like a mutual insurer in that they're not owned by like a stock company, they're owned by the policyholders. Section 25.2 would give some extra specificity to the solvency standards for reciprocals. We do have some reciprocals who are interested in entering the state, and they've requested that we put a little bit more detail around what their solvency standards would be. Sections 25.4 through 25.5 deal with captive insurers. Captive insurers are traditionally specialized insurers that are owned by a corporation to ensure that corporation's interests or an association. Homeowners associations are not currently allowed to participate in captive insurance. We would propose to expand that so homeowners associations could participate in captive insurance as a potential backstop when they can't find other coverage. Sections 25.6 and 25.7 deal with homeowners associations and common interest communities. There's a clause that requires the association to cover all of the aspects of the common building, and we're proposing to relax that. This is a section where we've had some discussion with the associations and other interested parties because I've been in front of many committees this session talking about unintended consequences in health policy. We had some unintended consequences in HOA policy here, so this is the section where we're working on a conceptual amendment to make sure that we don't trigger any unforeseen circumstances. And then after that, the most important thing to mention is that the bill will require some regulatory lift by the division. So we intend to make sure that, for example, consumer protections and disclosures are encompassed in those regulations. And I'd also mention that the sandbox provisions within the bill do have an explicit expiration date. So it is intended to be an experiment. And if after 4 years the experiment is succeeding, the legislature can elect to re-up it. And if after 4 years the experiment is not succeeding, they will expire automatically. Right. Some member, that concludes my presentation. If you want to add anything.
We stand ready for questions.
Thank you very much. That's one long experiment. I have one question, and that is you referenced an amendment. I know that you referenced a couple times an amendment. I didn't know if there were several amendments or just one, and when will we see it?
Just one, and that's what was referred to in the part dealing with the unintended consequences of the HOAs and adding Senator Buck to as co-sponsor.
Thank you very much. Go ahead.
When you'll see it is as soon as I have it, and I have set a noon deadline for this because I know the urgency and the way that, Chair, that you work is even at noontime, I'm stretching your kindness.
Well, what time is
Politely
it?
said.
It's 9:48, so you've got an hour and 10 minutes.
P.K. O'Neill, for the record, Chair's legals, actually, they were in the office with us and are working on something as we speak. They said it would just take 30 minutes or so.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right, questions, Senator Titus.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, and thank you, much needed. My district is very well, has been hit by these wildfires, and it has been an issue. My question is regarding your statement, the end date and the determining whether it's successful. What are your benchmarks that you will decide? Is it more houses insured, less people being turned down? What's the benchmark?
For the record, Adam Plain, Nevada Division of Insurance, Senator Titus. The sandbox provisions actually require an insurer who's applying to participate to set their own benchmarks of what the successful test program will look like. So if because of the flexibility of the sandbox program, they might choose, for example, an innovative product design And so they would say, we're going to offer this type of new product that hasn't been offered before. And as part of our test, the insurance company, we want to look at these metrics. What's the uptake within the population? Or does it relieve our surplus capacity concerns? Or do we have a claims frequency under this new product? And that's all part of the application that they would submit to us. And so when the division receives and reviews those applications, and at the end of those 4 years, when we come back to the legislative body, we would be able to say, these are the types of applications we received, these were their metrics, and this is how they performed against those metrics.
Follow up, Madam Chair. So just along that what was my next question was then, once those have been established, then it will be up to your division to come back to the legislative process for the oversight to say, hey, this is what we think we've achieved. So you'll report back to the legislature.
For the record, Adam Plain, Senator Titus, absolutely.
All right, very good. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you very much, and I'll go to Senator Nguyen.
I think I was just waiting for the additional language that you're working on. So the chair has asked my question and you answered it as well.
Thank you very much. Any additional questions on Assembly Bill 376? All righty, if you'd like to step back, and we will go to those in support of Assembly Bill 376.
Good morning, Chair Dondero Loop and members of the Committee on Finance. My name is Leah Cartwright, Leacartwright, here today on behalf of the American Association of Property Casualty Insurers. Excuse me. I really want to thank you for hearing this bill this morning, and also to the sponsor, Assemblyman O'Neill, for his continuous work on this proposal. This has been not just a session project, but we have been working on how to address the wildfire issue and the insurance issue through quarterly meetings with the Property Casualty Insurance Division at DOI, stakeholder meetings between consumer protection folks, the industry, the regulators, hour-long hearings in Incline Village to talk about the HOA issues. This has been an ongoing discussion, and we are so thrilled to have this bill before you today. I know there is a minor change coming, and I personally want to thank the NJA for reaching out and bringing those concerns to us so that we could help address them early this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Jesse Wadhams, for the record, with the Nevada Insurance Council. I will just simply say what she said.
What if I ask you to repeat all that? All righty. Thank you very much. All right, with that, we'll go down south. Las Vegas, please, when you're ready at the table.
Chair Dondero Loop, members of the committee, my name is Anahit Baghshetyan. For the record, that is ANAHITBAGHSHETSYN, and I'm a policy analyst at Nevada Policy. Today, we come in strong support of AB 376 to establish a regulatory sandbox for property insurers. Nevada has one of the top 10 most complex regulatory statutes in the nation, making it difficult, particularly for insurance businesses, to enter the market, test new products, and just implement innovation. So by allowing insurers to innovate while also maintaining consumer protections and under the oversight of the Commissioner of Insurance, this bill kind of strikes a balance between innovation and oversight, and also in the process helps those who need the property insurance the most up north. I think above all, the insurance policies could also be innovated under this policy. Innovative models could include peer-to-peer insurance or AI and machine learning applications, telematics-based policies. So not only would it change the construction of the premiums, it would also change the nature of it potentially. States such as Kentucky, West Virginia, Utah, and Vermont have successfully implemented sandboxes like this, and we stand to benefit from the similar policies. So for those reasons, we urge your support on the measure. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, when you're ready, please. Is your microphone on?
My apologies. I'll be in opposition.
Okay, if you'll just wait, please. Alrighty, we'll go to ABH. Is there anyone on the line in support of Assembly Bill 376?
Thank you, Chair. If you would like to testify in support of AB 376, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue.
Wiz Razar, W-I-Z-R-O-U-Z-A-R-D, W for Americans for Prosperity, Nevada. Just in the interest of time, we ditto all the comments, and we really appreciate this innovation that's being proposed by bill sponsors and stakeholders. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any additional callers, AVH?
There are no additional callers wishing to provide support testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to opposition here in Carson City. Any opposition in Carson City? In Las Vegas, go ahead, please, when you're ready.
Good morning, Chair Dondero Loop and other committee members. Thank you for your time this morning. My name is Gregory Kerr. I'm an attorney in Nevada representing homeowners associations since 2007. I'm also the vice chair of the Community Associations Institute on the Legislative Action Committee. CAI is a nationwide trade organization geared around homeowners associations. I represent as representative of the LAC committee for the Nevada chapter. My opposition is in particular to section 25.6 and the conforming change in 25.7. The opposition I had prepared hopefully would have had more thunder, but I don't think that it's entirely necessary. I just learned this morning, as Assemblyman O'Neill mentioned, my committee and lobbyist Garrett Gordon, who I believe will also be providing some neutral testimony at this point, is working with Assemblyman O'Neill on a amendment. I'll be taking a look at that language as well on behalf of the CAI LAC committee. I just want to note for the record though, that there are concerns with the deletion of the requirement for associations to carry property insurance over the units in projects where there have shared walls or horizontal and vertical boundaries, which are basically townhome projects and condominium projects. Exposing owners to the liability responsibility for those repairs will be far more onerous than the increases that a lot of associations are facing here in Nevada, which I'm certainly well aware of. I have clients that regularly come to me with increased property insurance premiums. But what we don't want as an answer or a response to that problem is a bigger problem where there's going to be uninsured losses that the associations and homeowners are going to have to pay for dollar through increased assessments. Because I can tell you that, especially with condominium projects, it's not uncommon for someone to leave their bathtub faucet on as they leave to go to the grocery store, or they install a new washing machine and they cross-thread the washing machine supply water line, or they flush a dirty diaper down a toilet, and it leads to backing up of other units on multiple floors, multiple units, and the damages can be over $1 million these days. We don't want those to go uninsured. We don't want owners and associations being exposed to that, and we don't want to lose the subrogation liability protection that currently exists under the law. If we remove the association's obligation to carry that insurance, we're exposing homeowners to potential subrogation claims between as homeowner insurers fight between policies and coverages. But that said, we are working with Assemblyman O'Neill on an amendment that I think everybody will be happy with. So I thank him for his efforts on that and working with CAI and other representatives from our industry. So thank you all.
Thank you very much. And if you could just pause for 1 minute, Senator Wynn has a question for you.
I'm sorry. I appreciate that you came here and indicated your opposition to the bill. It just is my understanding that with the amendment that was proposed by the sponsor just here during the hearing, that it seems like your concerns are addressed. Is that your understanding, or?
My understanding of the amendment that's being drafted is that associations will still carry the responsibility under NRS 116-3113 to carry a property insurance policy on not just the common areas, but also the units. There will be carve out to some degree relating to wildfire claims, I believe.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, sir. You need to make sure you say your name for the record as well. Sorry.
I'm sorry. This is Gregory Kerr. Last name is Kerr.
And so, do you
CAI.
object? Do you have opposition to the amendment as proposed?
I have not seen the amendment, but I do not have reason to oppose it at this time. My opposition was initially to what's in section 25.6 and 20.7 as written in the draft that you have in front of you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. All right, thank you, Mr. Kerr, very much. We appreciate your time. All right, with that, I'll go to the phone lines. ABH, is there anyone in opposition?
Thank you, Chair. If you would like to testify in opposition to AB 376, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue. Mark Coolman, you are unmuted on our end. Please make sure you are not muted on yours.
Okay, hello. My name is Mark Coolman, that's Coolman, and I'm a homeowner in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm also an insurance agent for NFP Property and Casualty Services. My insurance practice is primarily HOAs. I'm the agent for approximately 600 HOAs in Southern Nevada. At the present time, I oppose the bill on the grounds of section 25.6 and 25.7. However, if the new amendment is what Mr. Kerr discussed, then of course I would support the bill. I just want to reiterate that I have personally been involved in many claims where an attached unit is on fire and the owner did not have insurance, and then the association and that owner and the other owners had to deal with basically an unsellable building of any unit for the members. And approximately 8 years ago, that was changed in the law, and we spent the last 8 years making sure that all these developments are insured. If we would release them of the burden of insuring, many associations, because they are managed by individuals, will simply look at price, not at whether they are covered or not, and we would have the nightmare that we legislated against many years ago. That's all I have to say.
Thank you very much. Any additional callers in opposition on the phone lines, please, ABH?
Hi, my name is Rhonda Tyson, Rondattheisen. I'm the president of a 100-unit condominium association in Reno, Nevada, that in October of 2022 suffered more than $5 million in damage after a small kitchen fire on our top floor. We need to have master insurance policies in place. I don't know what this bill is going to end up looking like based on the discussion so far, but a couple of things I'd ask you to consider adding is get rid of the ridiculous requirement that we have to prove gross negligence in order to recover against a responsible owner. Require condominium owners to carry HO6 and townhouse owners to carry HO3 policies with an amount sufficient to cover the master policy's deductible, and then make it possible for us to collect the deductible from the responsible owners. There are common sense things you can do to help us reduce our burden, but if somehow some well-meaning board had canceled the master insurance policy because it wasn't required, our association would not have been crippled by the events of October 2022. We would have been destroyed, with every one of our owners having to pony up $50,000 in special assessments to cover the damage caused by one accidental fire in one of our units. So let's get this right. Thank you.
Thank you very much, AVH. Any additional callers?
Hello, my name is Mindy Martinez, and I am an insurance agent here in the state of Nevada, specializing in insuring homeowners associations. My original call was to be in opposition, only in reference to sections 25.6 and 25.7. My understanding there will be an amendment, and in that case, if they remove the language of not requiring associations to insure the building, then I will be in favor of the bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Any additional callers?
There are no further callers to provide opposition testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. And we'll go to neutral here in Carson City.
Good morning, Madam Chair. For the record, Garrett Gordon on behalf of CAI. Just want to thank Assembly Member O'Neill for working with us on the amendment. We are in support with the proposed amendment, and I will note for the record, Senator, the commentary in Las Vegas, he had not seen the amendment yet. He's also will be in support. Thank you.
Okay, so you're in neutral right now.
I'm neutral as the bill is currently written. I just
Okay.
got the amendment, so we will
Yeah.
be in support with the amendment. Thank you.
Okay, it's all in flux. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Ardea Canepa Rotoli on behalf of the Nevada Justice Association. I'll spell that. ARDEA, last name CANEPA-ROTOLI. We came here this morning in opposition of this. We were fortunate to work with the related parties and Assemblyman O'Neill, and we were able, as has been mentioned many times, to come up with an amendment that will address the issues with consequences to homeowners associations. We did just receive the language for the amendment. I did want to make note that it says to amend section 25.6. It also needs to amend 25.7, just to make sure that it addresses the issues with association insurance requirements. Otherwise, we are agreeable to the amendment that has been proposed. I'm also thankful this morning we had discussions as Nevada Justice Association. We're always concerned with consumer protection. And so we did have some discussions about concerns that if a insurance policy is issued to a homeowner or association, that there be protections in place to make sure that they are made aware of the fact that the standard policy may not include wildfire coverage and that wildfire coverage needs to be obtained by way of a separate rider. And so we have been assured that during the regulatory process, there will be things done to make sure that there are some consumer protections in place. So we are here as neutral.
Thank you very much. One of the two Ardeas in the state. And I know both of them now. Little Nevada history for all of you. All right. Any additional neutral here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, please?
If you would like to testify in the neutral position for AB 376, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide neutral testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. All right, with that, Assembly Member, do I understand that you may have an amendment in your hands? Would you like to give us a cliff note?
PK O'Neill for the record. Chair, actually, we've delivered a copy to the committee secretary for dispersal to you, but if you may, would you like me to read it to you?
Please, sir.
The first part is add Senator Buck as a joint sponsor. Second, amend section 25.c of the bill to retain the provision of subsection 2, which require the property insurance required to be maintained by a unit owners association on the common elements of the community in the case of a building that contains units divided by certain boundaries, to include the units to the extent reasonably available. Instead, add a new language to the subsection that provides that The requirement of the subsections do not apply if the associations procure property insurance coverage that covers the perils or the peril of wildfire, which coordinates or subrogates with the policies of individual units owners that provide coverage for the peril of wildfire, and the provision of the subsection do not relieve the unit owners' associations of any other legal responsibilities prescribed by the provisions of existing law governing unit owners association. And just to be, that's the amendment as being proposed. This is dealing with wildfires, not with a units issue, not with a kitchen fire, a broken pipe, any of that. This is a unit wildland fires which have ravaged both northern Nevada and, may I say, the southern Nevada has issues along there in the Mount Charleston area and some others where we're starting to move out farther and farther. So that has to be remembered, that it's wildland fires, and it is a sandbox to experiment to see what we can do, because we have people losing their homes and not able to gain homes because of the challenge we have with the current fire. So with that, Chair, answering any other questions, otherwise I'll thank you for your consideration. And I got it to you before noon.
Okay, good job. Class accepts the early paper. You get an extra point for that. Okay, I have a question for you. So what does this do to the, you need to phone a friend? What does this do to the fiscal note with the Division of Insurance?
Madam Chair, for the record, Adam Plain, Nevada Division of Insurance. The fiscal note was removed back at reprint 1.
I could have answered that.
Is it still removed?
Yes, sorry, for the record, Adam Plain, there should be...
With this, it's still removed.
For the record, Adam Plain, yes, there should be no fiscal impact or fiscal note generated by the new amendment.
Okay, Senator Nguyen, do you have a question?
I don't. I think they answered.
Okay. Any additional questions? All right, I think you're off the hook for right this minute. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, with that, I will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 376. Although, Assembly Member, the highlight of that bill was actually seeing Ardea Canepa, so thank you very much. All right, with that, I will call forward Assembly Bill 503 and Assembly Member Torres Fawcett. And I know how to spell all that.
Thank you, Chair. Are you ready?
I am ready. Please go ahead.
And before I get into the bill, do you prefer me to just go ahead and run through the fiscal note, or would you like the whole policy briefing on the bill?
If you feel like there's something in the policy that we need to know, I am happy to hear some of that. And then please let us know about the fiscal.
Perfect. I'll go ahead and just kind of provide a brief overview. Assemblymember Selena Torres Fawcett, which is probably just a little bit longer than Don Darrell Loop. I'm excited to be in this committee today for the first time this session. I'm going to run briefly through the bill, but then if there's specific questions, I'm happy to help answer those as well. Thank you, Chair Don Darrell Loop and members of the committee. Today, I am here also as chair of the Joint Standing Interim Committee on Government Affairs for the 23-24 interim to present AB 503, which aims to address the unlawful possession of utility wire. This bill was introduced in response to a series of copper wire thefts that has impacted Nevadans, and with the wrong set of circumstances, consequences of copper wire theft can cause more than a disturbance to electricity in our households. It can also have life-threatening consequence. This bill was first discussed during the Interim Government Affairs Committee about a year ago, and is a culmination of over a year's work in the combined efforts of local governments, law enforcement, public defenders, telecommunication companies, public utilities, and the scrap metal industry. At this time, I'm going to go ahead and go through the sections of the bill. I would like to know, since I first reprinted the bill, the fiscal note for the Department of Corrections was removed on May 15th. The Nevada Department of Transportation and Clark County even anticipate saving $2.4 million and $3.1 million, respectively, each year of the biennium, on which it would typically spend to repair damages caused by copper wire theft and activities. Section 1 defines critical infrastructure and establishes penalties for willful tampering with, removing, damaging, or destroying any critical infrastructure. The severity of the penalties is dependent on the value of the property affected and whether the act causes an interruption in service. Based on the value of the property, penalties can include, if it's less than $1,200, it would be guilty of a misdemeanor. At least $1,200, but less than $5,000, the person is guilty of a gross misdemeanor. $5,000 or more, and the person is guilty of a Category D felony with a prison term of not more than 1 year. And not more than 4 years, and a fine of not more than $5,000. And if it causes an interruption of services provided by any critical infrastructure, a person is guilty of a Category C felony with a prison term of not less than 1 year and a maximum term of not more than 5 years and a fine of not more than $10,000. At this time, I stand ready for any questions.
Thank you very much. So am I understanding all the fiscal notes have been removed?
Yes, correct. There is no fiscal impact except for a savings for the state.
Thank you very much. This is an important subject. All right, any questions? Senator Wynn?
Thank you, and I want to thank, I know you had a whole team that was working on this, so I appreciate the conversations that we had early on in session to come up with some of those weight things. I think it makes it a good bill, and hopefully this will lead to significant savings for our counties, cities, utilities, businesses. I know that this is a huge problem, and so I appreciate your work on this.
Thank you very much. All right, additional questions? Senator Buck? Yes, please.
Thank you, Chair. I love the bill. Thank you. I know that this impacts schools, it impacts trails, especially in my district. So thank you so much for all your hard work on that.
Thank you very much. All right, additional questions, comments? All right, if you'd like to step back. All right, we'll go to those in support of Assembly Bill 503.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members of the committee, my name is Helen Foley, and I'm representing T-Mobile. We'd like to thank the sponsor of the bill and everyone who was involved, local governments, telecom industry. We think it's a very good bill now. It's been a serious problem, people stealing this type of equipment, not just the copper wire, but the infrastructure that allows us to make phone calls and everything else. So we thank you very much, and we strongly support it.
Good morning, Chair Dondero Loop and committee. For the record, Shelley Capurro representing Charter Communications. And this legislation is essential to safeguarding Nevada's critical infrastructure and ensuring uninterrupted delivery of vital communication services to residents, businesses, and emergency responders. When we started working with the sponsor, who I very much thank last year, and with Mr. Hardy, I knew that there was some impact. I had no concept as to the impact, even on a safety issue, but also to our state agencies and to our local governments. So I very much urge your support of this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Chair, members of the committee. Warren Hardy, representing the Nevada Urban Consortium, SA Recycling, and Nevada Pick Apart. This is the culmination of a lot of work. Most of the local governments, I think all of the local governments actually in Southern Nevada, have now adopted an ordinance dealing with this. This is the conclusion of that, which makes it even more effective. The industry's in full support of this. As you know, this has been a challenge in Southern Nevada. We based this conceptually on the catalytic converter law, which you adopted last session that Senator Wynn sponsored, which has been phenomenally successful. It is a national model for how to deal with these kinds of thefts. This is a little bit different because it's not quite as clear-cut and clean as catalytic converter theft, but this is an amazing bill and will lead the nation once again in dealing with these kinds of thefts. So thank you for your support.
Hello, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Ashley Kennedy, representing Clark County. I did just want to
testified in support. We testified in support during the policy committee as well. Over the course of 3 years, Clark County had about 850 locations that were subject to copper wire theft, which resulted in 650,000 linear feet of wire that had to be replaced by Clark County. We submitted an unsolicited fiscal note to indicate the savings from our Public Works Department. Every year, we anticipate the savings of 1.5 million operating expenditures and 3.1 million savings in capital replacement. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mo Dennis, for the record, representing Las Vegas Recycling, and we have been participating with the working group for the past year on this issue, critical issue, and we are in support of Assembly Bill 503.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Good morning, Chair Dondero, Loop, and committee members. My name is Joe Harrington. I'm the Communications Director for NDOT. That's HARRINGTON for the record. As was stated, we think that with this bill, there could be potential significant savings to the state. We are expending approximately $5 million a biennium to address the copper wire theft issue. We have seen that number escalate substantially in recent years. When you expand that to talk about fiber, vandalism, homelessness, related issues, it is actually millions more. And I am only referring to the state's right-of-way and not the right-of-way of our local governments that are close partners. So for those reasons and more, we are in support of the fiscal policy of Assembly Bill 503. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any additional support here in Carson City? Las Vegas? And on the phone lines, please. AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair. If you would like to testify in support of AB 503, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide support testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to opposition here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, please. AVH, when you're ready.
If you would like to testify in opposition to AB 503, please press star 9 or raise hand in the Zoom app to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide opposition testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to neutral here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, please. AVH, when you're ready.
If you would like to testify in the neutral position for AB 503, please press star 9 to raise your hand to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide neutral testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. Closing comments, Assemblymember Torres Fawcett. Okay, with that, we'll close the hearing on Assembly Bill 503. And we are going to take a quick 1 minute or so recess. So hang on. Okay, we're back in. We are going to hear three more bills. We will hear Assembly Bill 6, then we will hear Senate Bill 507, and then we will hear Assembly Bill 593. So we're just going to be in recess for 1 minute until we see a person at the table, and then we will go. Do you need me to repeat those, Senator Titus? You got them, thank you. Okay. Yes, ma'am. I told him you would be running in Las Vegas. I didn't mean it literally. All right. When you're ready in Las Vegas, take a big deep breath, drink some water, and you may start. Welcome and thank you for being Johnny on the spot when we needed you. Go ahead, please, when you're ready.
Good afternoon, Ricky Robb for the record. We are here to introduce Assembly Bill 6 for fetal alcohol syndrome spectrum disorder, and I'm happy to introduce you to Samantha Jaime. Good morning, Samantha Jaime for the record. Good morning, everyone. I would like to thank you for the opportunity to introduce Assembly Bill 6. My name is Samantha Jaime, Health Program Manager with the Autism Treatment Assistance Program, and I'm joined by Deputy Administrator Ricky Robb for the Nevada Aging and Disability Services Division. I will walk you through specific highlights of the bill, and I'm happy to answer any questions from the committee during or after testimony. Assembly Bill 6 establishes the Fetal Alcohol Spectrum Disorder Treatment Assistance Program within the Aging and Disability Services Division of the Department of Health and Human Services. The bill amends NRS 427A to enable Aging and Disability Services to provide and coordinate services for children diagnosed with FASD per the revised language in NRS 432B. ensuring interventions and resources through the age of 13. This framework allows us to identify and train providers in evidence-based practices to build capacity. Medicaid currently covers applied behavior analysis for this population, and we will assess potential budget needs for services beyond Medicaid coverage. During the 2023 legislative session, AB 422 established a pilot program for individuals with FASD administered by the Autism Treatment Assistance Program. This initiative partnered with the Families Moving Forward program, an evidence-based intervention widely implemented across the country. AB 6 builds upon AB 422 by formalizing the structure necessary for continued support beyond the pilot phase. AB 6 aligns with Families Moving Forward program eligibility, targeting children 3 through 13 with FASD who exhibit behavioral challenges. Early intervention during these developmental years maximizes impact and ensures lasting improvements for children and their families. After age 14, other resources such as vocational rehabilitation become available. Currently, individuals with FASD can apply for services through the regional centers, but must demonstrate substantial limitations to qualify. AB 6 expands support for children and families while optimizing existing departmental resources. In closing, AB 6 is a crucial step forward in building provider capacity and providing structured, evidence-based support for children with FASD and their families, ensuring early intervention where it matters most. We appreciate the committee's time and consideration, and we are happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very much. Once again, thank you for being so quick to respond. And this is a really important bill to a very vulnerable population that needs assistance. So thank you. Any questions on this, Senator Titus?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I certainly agree with the concept of the bill, but wondering about, I know it says to the extent money is available, but what amount are we thinking of that would need to be available?
Thank you for the question, Senator. Ricky Robb for the record. At this point in time, we're really looking at building the structure, and so we do not have a fiscal note. And we're looking at the pilot from AB 422 and continuing that on. So at this point in time, we are not requesting funds from this body. We are really looking at building the structure, collecting the data so that we can come back to this body and request with solid information, a true amount and what the needs will be for our community. But right now we're really looking at training providers so that when we have the data and we have the funding, we'll be prepared.
Thank you very much. All right. Any additional questions? All right. Thank you for that information. Thank you for all the hard work. If you would like to step back, we'll do support, opposition, and neutral real quick. All right. Those in support here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, please, AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair. If you would like to testify in support of AB 6, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue.
Good morning, Chair and members of the committee. Leanne McAllister, MCA-LLISTER. I am the Executive Director of the Nevada chapter of the American Academy of Pediatrics, in strong support of this bill. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any additional callers, AVH?
If you have recently joined us and would like to testify in support of AB 6, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the committee. Stephen Cohen for the record. Ditto. Thank you. I yield.
Thank you very much. Any additional callers, AVH?
There are no other callers wishing to provide support testimony at this time.
All righty, then I will go straight to opposition here in Carson City, Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, please, AVH, when you're ready.
If you would like to testify in opposition to AB 6, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide opposition testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to neutral here in Carson City. In Las Vegas, on the phone lines, please, AVH, when you're ready.
If you would like to provide testimony in the neutral position for AB6, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide neutral testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. Any closing comments from either one of you? Okay, shaking heads. Thank you very much. Once again, thank you for being so flexible. And we will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 6, and we will go to Assembly Bill 507. Please go ahead when you're ready.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of the Senate Finance Committee. Madison Ryan, LCB Fiscal Analysis Division for the record. I'm here to provide an overview of Senate Bill 507, which is a budget implementation bill related to the Office of Nevada Boards, Commissions, and Council Standards within the Department of Business and Industry. As background, following the passage and approval of Senate Bill 431 of the 82nd legislative session, the office established the deputy director position and received allocations from the IFC contingency account in each year of the 2023-25 biennium to fund the position. The office indicated at that time it received these allocations that it would develop an assessment methodology during the 2023-24 interim based on the budget and licensing information gathered from the boards and commissions regarding the long-term funding plan for the office, and would provide a funding recommendation for consideration during the 83rd legislative session. Senate Bill 507 of this legislative session would implement the office's long-term funding plan and would authorize the office by regulation to prescribe a fee to cover the costs incurred by the office and adopt procedures to collect such fees from a board, commission, council, or similar body to which services are provided. For reference, the Muddy Committees approved funding 11 positions in total to be funded with cost allocation reimbursements over the 2025-27 biennium. 2 of these positions were approved to be funded with general fund appropriations in fiscal year 2026 to provide the office the resources to oversee all professional and occupational licensing boards in the state as required by NRS 232-8415. And these positions were approved contingent upon approval of enabling legislation that would allow the office to collect the fees from a board, commission, council, or similar body to which services are provided. The bill also sets up the Office of Nevada Boards, Commissions, and Councils Standards account to be administered by the Deputy Director of the office, and the bill removes the Commission on Post-Secondary Education from NRS 232-8415, as the Commission is also created within the Department of Employment Training and Rehabilitation, pursuant to NRS 394383, and this change would leave the Commission on Post-Secondary Education with DETR and remove the Commission from the purview of the office, and the bill becomes effective upon passage and approval. And thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions on this bill? Senator Titus.
Thank you very much for that thorough explanation. I just want to confirm that this position is then funded through the fees, no general funds?
Thank you for the question, Madison Ryan, LCB Fiscal for the record. Through you, Madam Chair, to Senator Titus. The 2 positions would continue to be funded with the general fund appropriations in fiscal year 2026. That's the existing deputy director position and 1 management analyst position that would serve as the bridge position, so to say, while the office sets up the regulation for the fee. And then the additional positions would be funded with the fees that begin in fiscal year 2026, and then in fiscal year 2027, all positions within this office would be funded with the fees.
Thank you. Thank you for clarification. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any additional questions, comments? Senator Neal.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So this is the Commission on Post-Secondary Education that we're moving back, right? I was just like...
Thank you for the question, Madison Ryan, LCB Fiscal, for the record, through you, Madam Chair, to Senator Neal. So the Commission on Post-Secondary Education is created in statute under DETR, as well as being under the purview of the Office of Nevada Boards, Commissions, and Council Standards. DETR has continued to provide support to the Commission on Post-Secondary Education this last biennium, and this is the only board or commission that's an executive budget that's currently listed under the purview of the Office of Nevada Boards, Commissions, and Council Standards. So this would just eliminate the commission from being under the purview of the office and just leave it with DETR.
I guess that's why it popped up a question on why there are even fees associated with it when it used to be there.
It's just returning to its original home.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madison Ryan, LCB Fiscal, for the record. Yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank you. All right. Any additional questions? All right, I don't see any. You may step back. Thank you very much. All right, we will call those in support of a Senate Bill 507 to the table. Seeing none. Las Vegas, none. AVH, when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair. If you would like to testify in support of SB 507, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide support testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to opposition here in Carson City, Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, AVH, when you're ready.
If you would like to testify in opposition to SB 507, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide opposition testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to neutral here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, on the phone lines when you're ready.
If you would like to testify in the neutral position for SB 507, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide neutral testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. And with that, any closing comments? Thank you very much, Ms. Ryan. And we'll close the hearing on Senate Bill 507, and we will open the hearing on Assembly Bill 594. Welcome, Ms. Greenmeyer. Thank you very much for being flexible. 594? Oh, okay. We have the wrong. Yeah. It's okay. We just had the wrong bill in front of us. 593. 593.
Good morning. This is Tiffany Greenmeyer, Director for the Governor's Finance Office, here to present AB 593. AB 593 makes an appropriation to the Interim Finance Committee to support the cost of the implementation of the Enterprise Resource Planning System, also known as Core MD. Section 1 of the bill appropriates state general fund to the Interim Finance Committee in the sum of $53,434,995. To continue the support of the implementation of the Enterprise Resource Planning System. And Section 2 of the bill appropriates state highway funds to the Interim Finance Committee in the amount of $12,534,135 to also support the implementation of the Enterprise Resource Planning System. And with that, I will stand for any questions.
Senator Titus.
Just documenting that this is part of the governor's budget, already in the budget.
Yes, that's correct. Tiffany Greenmeyer for the record.
Thank you.
Would you please repeat that amount when you first started about the appropriating? You made a sentence and then you gave an amount.
Tiffany Greenmeyer for the record. Section 1 of the bill appropriates state general fund to the interim finance committee for the sum of $53,434,995. And section 2 appropriates state highway fund to the interim finance committee in the amount of $12,534,135.
Okay, any additional questions on this? Senator Titus.
Thank you, Madam Chair, for the second question. Again, just to get on the record that this then is already in the budget. It goes to IFC in a restricted fund account to be drawn down as this program is stood up, correct?
Tiffany Greenmeyer for the record. Yes, that is correct. Core MB will come to an IFC to request the funds from interim finance committee.
Right. Thank you.
All right, any additional questions or concerns on this? Okay, we were just all on our computers because we don't have the bill right in front of us, so thank you. All right, if you want to step back, and I will call up those in support of Assembly Bill 593 in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, please. ABH, when you're ready.
If you would like to testify in support of AB 593, please press *9 to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide support testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to opposition here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, please.
If you would like to provide testimony in opposition to AB 593, please press *9 to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide opposition testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to neutral here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, please.
If you would like to testify in the neutral position for AB 593, please press *9 to take your place in the queue. There are no callers wishing to provide neutral testimony at this time.
All right, thank you very much. Any closing comments, Ms. Greenemeyer? Okay, thank you. All right, with that, I will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 593. And we are going to recess. We will be back this afternoon for some additional work and time to be determined. And with that, we will stand in recess.